Hello, you're live with ArchieLuxury and Clive. Clive, I wanted to do this video. We have not rehearsed for this in any way. And I wanted to ask you, some advice here. And the thing is that so many people out there want to bag a bargain.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask you there, how can a newbie get a bargain? And I've got a certain opinion, and my opinion is that newbie needs to be careful of eBay. They need to be careful of Gumtree. They need to be careful of Craigslist. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. And I think for the newbie, even if he pays a bit more, it's worth paying a bit more to get some to get a dealer who's going to guide them. See, it's not like you're paying extra money for nothing. By going to a dealer, you're paying for his expertise. What do you think? You've done quite a lot of looking around there in the marketplace. What is your opinion? What do you think?
Are you receiving a backyard breakfast delivery from Pizza?
No, just had someone dropping something in here. What do you think?
Is it what's on the wrist? Did he come back?
No.
All right. Well, I actually think that, you do have to be careful, but I actually think the best bargains are on Craigslist or on eBay. I mean, it could be bonkers. Bonkers. And
yes,
whether you're looking at a Submariner or a Milgauss, you can find some deals that are almost preposterous. I mean,
you
it's
could
not
also
like
get ripped off if you don't know what you're doing.
support system. It's not, and of course you're not going to be looking for like an SKX on a wrist on a NATO or anything like that. But the point is, you with Craigslist, always have it authenticated. With Rolex, the wonderful thing is that you can always find, like my friend Ed who likes pizza, a nice reputable third-party place to basically check your piece out, often for no cost. So with the Rolex, it's, if they're not going to, we can actually do an entire series on this scam school. I mean, literally, there are a lot of pitfalls, but cash on the barrelhead, and have them meet you at an authorized dealer or a reputable third-party jeweler.
Well, the only problem is an authorized dealer, they're not going to be able to, I know with the Rolex dealers where I am, you don't really want to be pestering them to do authentications. If I had a dealership and someone wanted to come in to know whether this watch they're buying is real or not, I'd tell them to get stuffed.
Well, fortunately, I
don't think that's a very nice thing, Clive. I really don't think that's the way to do things. I think you can have a watchmaker look at it. That's one thing.
Right.
I would be paying the watchmaker, but I wouldn't be using a dealership. And our watchmakers, our dealerships here would say they're really difficult to deal with. They say only Rolex can verify whether it's real or not, because they need to open the case up. We're not authorized to open the cases up. It needs to go to Melbourne, and it will take a week. And the guy selling it says, hey, I'm not going to send my damn thing to Melbourne and pay for this and pay for that. And it just is I don't think that's quite practical, Clyde. I think really you should be looking at buying it from a good, reputable used dealer who can do that for you. Because if he sells you something that's wrong, you've always got comeback. He's not Joe Public. He's a business. He wants to have repeat sales. So I really think you're much better off. Newbies are better off to buy things from a dealer, a second-hand watch dealer, somebody specializing in vintage pieces. I think if you don't know what you're looking for, it is a minefield. It is a absolute minefield. And I really think myself, you know, how much are you going to save? Okay. You've driven out hundreds of kilometers, hours of driving, haven't you? What's the longest drive you've gone to see a watch?
Oh, about 7 hours round trip.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, actually it was. I got the watch I wanted.
What was that?
My Rolex pre-ceramic no date sub, box and papers. $4,200. And you know, and there is a used dealer where I'm at, knowledgeable, and you know, if you keep going back to the same guy, yeah, he's going to give you the stink eye. Yeah, that's going to happen. But it would have cost me $1,200 more to get it from him, the exact same watch. So
you could always ask him, how much do you charge to verify a watch?
And always the cost is not a problem. Don't worry about it. But you can tell after a while they're expecting the payoff. There's also a couple other good third-party people that will not only check the watch out, but even do diagnostics on their couple of machines that they do it for. Which is also great, because not only are you having authenticated, you're basically giving it a rough checkup. And this is the case. It's like Clifton's Watch Hospital. It's like $20-25. Hell, I would have paid that anyway after I bought the Rolex.
The other thing, of course, Clive, is that, you know, I think for newbies, if this is the difference, you're an experienced collector, you're becoming an experienced collector. That's very different to somebody who just wants a bargain from Craigslist. I mean, a lot of people don't know what to look for, do they? You've put in a lot of hours researching these watches.
But you know where I started, of course.
Yep, you're paying me.
Yep. Well, even before that, watching you, I would look it over and look at the reference and look at research, and then make the move. And of course, watch the videos for like the real life practical experience. So, you know, yeah, also, you know, and part of the fun, I think, is learning about the watches itself.
But I mean, Clive, for a normal person, instead of buying that Speedmaster on Craigslist, he might be better off just to go to Joma Shop and buy one from there. What do you think? I think that's quite a safe experience. I think dealing with someone like Kenny Nguyen is also a pretty safe experience. It may not be absolutely cheapest like buying it off Craigslist, but you've got some comeback and they know what they're doing.
Well, and the nice part is that you have the options. You can go either way. I mean, for someone brand new, spanking brand new, yeah, possibly. But even if you're doing that, you still want to put in the hard yard and do the research. I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, even Sarah Palin knows a Rolex, for Pete's sake. But you know, no matter where you go, you still want to start with doing the work. And actually, in the ArchieLuxury channel, well, actually more specifically Paul Pluta channels, I think is a great place for anyone to start. And what I liked about it is like the classic Archie episodes, where you would go into details about specific watch models, specific watch references. Those things were almost reference points, really.
Yes, I think you're right there, Clive. I think you are very, very right there.
And yeah, and there are pitfalls. Oh, there's a lot of pitfalls.
I mean, tell me some pitfalls that concern you with watches you've looked at. What pitfalls have you had? Tell me this. Well,
a lot of it is just doing the research and sniffing out the buyer. I mean, you know, oh well, that's all right. Just send it by PayPal, and I'll mail it to you. Or I want a deposit via PayPal. Up yours. Deals that are too good to be true.
Yes. You've had a few of those.
Oh yeah. But and again, it's just like, I will meet you at this time at this dealer, or this.
See, what I think people don't realize is that you're a hardened defense attorney. Okay, an 18-year-old newbie just coming into college isn't going to be as nous or savvy as you, are they? Craigslist can be a minefield for the wrong buyer.
It can be, or even with the wrong seller.
You can do your ass.
You can also lose your ass going to an unscrupulous or the wrong seller. But either way, do the research. Do the research, and I think the best way to start that is here on the ArchieLuxury channel, or Paul Pluta. Or do you deny that as well?
No, you can certainly do that. You can certainly do that. I think you got to be careful. I think you're probably best to buy your first watch from, if you're not going to buy from a new dealer, at least a used, reputable dealer. That's what I honestly think. That's what you should be doing, because fools rush in where angels fear to tread. There are bargains on Craigslist, but there's also a lot of scammers. There are a lot of scammers out there.
No, there's a lot of scammers. But there are, like I said, pros and cons to either approach. Unfortunately, where I'm at, there's only really one used dealer, and he's kind of got a little monopoly going. Yes. The guy really knows his stuff, but it drives up the price unnecessarily. And I think I remember when I was going up at the beginning of June to see my son graduate from high school in Pittsburgh. And literally, when you're just trying to go on Craigslist up there, there wasn't really even any for sale by owner ads. It was all the local used watch reseller.
I see.
Yeah.
Very, very true. It's a minefield, and I don't think a newbie should just go on Craigslist and buy a watch or go on eBay. It's dangerous.
It can be dangerous, yeah.
With eBay, they may have used real pictures, but there's nothing to say that the pictures they've used is the watch, or they actually even own that damn watch.
Well, you also have buyer protection for PayPal. You also have buyer protection from whatever credit card you're using.
Yes.
So that is something. I actually think eBay is more precarious for sellers than it is for buyers.
Yes.
But, you know, like when I get my, and like I said, Rolex is one thing where just the watch by the watch by itself is fine. It's just like with Rolex, just the watch itself, box and papers are a nice plus, but they're not a necessity. Other brands, they are an absolute necessity, and you should not even consider looking at the watch without it.
Like Panerai, for example.
Panerai, that's what I was coming to. You know, from one extreme to the other. Where used dealers and watchmakers, where the fakes are so good that they can't even tell them apart.
Yes. That's very scary. That's very scary. Very, very scary, Clive.
But with a Panerai, it's also even the same thing. You might be looking at a reseller who himself or herself has been duped.
Yes. That's very, very true, Clive. Clive, we're going to cut this show. That was a great live video we've done there.
Okay. Hey, can I give a quick shout out?
Sure.
Hey, Blaze and Mark from optometrist from Brooklyn. 8 months sober. Shout out. Holler. Also, I think you should provide the Ponder with some glasses, some new reading glasses. Something kind of Elton John-ish from the 70s, like a vintage flair. If you could do that, that'd be wonderful.
Clive, I'm going to come back. We'll do it. Do you want to do another live show? I just need to take a quick break for a minute.
Yeah, we could do that. I'd love that. That's a great topic, actually.
Just give me a couple.
We completely disagree, but it's a great topic. Things.
What's that on?
Used jeweler. I mean, I think you're I think you're just getting unnecessarily fisted by. I mean, they do the best job they can at replicating the authorized dealer experience by fisting you as deeply as possible.
Okay. Clive,
it's
let's do another show. I'm going to do this on the Paul Pluta channel next. So switch over to that channel. That's where we're going to have some live shows coming up.
Okay. I guess we're going to do some hot horology now.
So just give me a couple minutes. Let's go take a break for a minute and we'll be back on very soon.
Fist on.
Fist on. That's
Brought to you
great,
by
Clive.